These days, even going back 2 generations from me, people are obsessed with perfection. I don't understand it, and I can't wait for it to go away. It's weird. Everything becomes metronomic. Everything has this perfect coat of paint. It's perfectly branded, and everything matches, and I can't stand it. All I want is for a sloppy sound to come out of the stereo. Some sort of ridiculous blotch of paint to be up on the wall that doesn't match the other colors. And I just want to see somebody trip while they're walking and not get embarrassed for their entire life afterwards and think that everything's over.
It's cold in this neck of Ohio tonight, and the style is right for a sad winter song. I feel lost like a speck in a pile out of sight, and though I try with all might, I just don't feel that strong. As we walk through a field trekking on snowy dirt, my eyes start to hurt trying to see a smile. And we talk about fears making our story short. You are scared to get shot, your bravery goes for miles. And there's more miles to go as we walk the train tracks. I think we lost the rain back in the woods we just hiked. And the store signs can glow as you walk sidewalk cracks. I think we lost the town back trading street lamps for kites. The nursery and all of the trees crossed over the dark, and some old parking lots hold my whimpering thoughts, and I'm on the next train. You and me, can't you see what this means? In the light of a torch, realize nothing is forced, nothing is forced. It's cold in this neck of Pennsylvania tonight. With the airplanes in flight, they plummeted at my car. And it's cold and I talk and I strain you to fight about pain at its height and whatever you are. And it's cold in this camp in Kentucky tonight. And the river's a sight as you sit on a branch. And we've rolled up our sleeves and are lucky to fight about pain at its height, and we're taking a chance. The nursery and all of the trees cross over the dark, and some old parking lots hold my whimpering thoughts, and I'm on the next train. You and me, can't you see what this means? In the light of a torch, realize nothing is forced, nothing is forced. The nursery and all of the
anybody there? Hello, this is Lee. This is Jerry. This is me. I'd like to say something. Hello. And this is really. Hey, it's new improved tape recorder. Happy birthday, Jack. Hey, Jack, it's from Tiffany Rumble.
Happy birthday, honey. I'm coming home. Ah.
Thank you, Tiffany Rumble. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jack. Happy birthday to you. And no one else.
I just went to a coffee shop. I went through the parking lot. I saw somebody's car that had a New York State license plate. Not New York City license plate, but New York State. Because, you know, there's license plates for the city. I'm an idiot. Anyways. I saw that license plate, didn't think anything of it. You see that all the time. But then when I walked in and got some coffee, in line there were a bunch of people that were really like, I don't want to, maybe interactive. They were like talking a lot. They're like, is this where you pay? Do you pay on the left or the right side of the counter? Oh, some places you pay left side, some places right. I can't remember. You know, whatever. And they were just kind of confused and talking a lot to each other and seemed to be talking to like the whole place. And I was like, those guys are probably the New York guys. They're not from around this part of land. They don't need to pay on left. I have a southern accent now. You know, that's what was going through my head, of course, because that makes sense. And then I looked around a little more. I saw somebody who started kind of chugging their coffee, an older guy. And one of the guys in line that I thought was maybe not from around these parts, he ran over to the guy with the coffee and he was like, whoa, slow down, buddy, slow down. Take it easy, talk with your friends. Just take a sip once in a while. You don't have to chug your coffee right away. Just take it easy. And I realized that the guys in line were, they were like ordering coffee for themselves and had already ordered a round of coffee for this group of old people. And I think they were kind of like elderly, mentally disabled people, if I'm saying that PC-like. And those guys were being interactive because the whole room was full of like the people they were taking care of, and they probably weren't from New York, but it was funny, they came off as like different or sticking out because they were simply like being caring to other people that they were with and kind of like hurting or like kind of, I don't know, like just like getting the group together and talking to them and communally communicating, I guess. So it was a kind of a cool experience in Ohio just to like see somebody who, the reason that they were kind of like full of life on a cold winter morning where everybody else was quiet and just like, give me my coffee, give me my coffee. The reason they were interactive, the reason they were kind of bright-eyed and bushy-tailed even was because they were taking care of some people that needed help. Then I walked into a store after that, and everyone was having a bad day except me. I felt like I started to have a good day because of seeing those guys at a coffee shop. And then I walked into a store, and there's a husband and wife. The husband's like, I don't even want to be here. I don't want to shop here. She's like, listen, we just have to get the stuff for the baby and get out of here. And I saw my mom yelling at her baby. She was like, if you're good all day, maybe we wouldn't have to be here for 3 hours. If you were good earlier, then you weren't screaming. And then like I saw an employee stocking something in a shelf. And they had this miserable look on their face, like they were worried about something. And like I saw somebody else who was like, who was just like, I swear, just looking at me and making a sad face. It just all seemed like a cartoon. People in Ohio aren't usually like that bad during winter. It's bad, but it's not that bad. So I felt like I saw these two weird hyperboles today. Like one where someone was like, hey, let's get some coffee, everybody. How's everybody doing today? Hey. And then the other end of the spectrum where people were just like, yeah, what's so good about it? So it was neat. I don't know why I'm sharing that with you, but I figure it was cool. So I'll see you later.
Anyway, let's go jump in a huge giant pile of slime, okay? Now it's your turn, Jerry. I already jumped in. Now Jack. Ooh, that was a big one. And now Steve, jump in the pie. Jump in the pile of slime. Okay.
Oh, but she had such a nice day because she was smiling so much. You wouldn't believe how much she was smiling because she drank some Coke and ate French fries and she was so happy. And,
Okay, that's good. That's
of course, you feel like saying that. That's why she died. She ate too many French fries. I mean, I do. Not everyone
Right.
feel like that, but the other thing I thought of was last words. See, she died on a Friday, I saw her on Thursday, and Aunt Kathy was going to see her on Friday, and she ran into her garage door. She backed out of her garage before the door was up. And
Kathy did?
Yeah,
Okay.
she bent up there. She was all upset, and then she didn't go to see her. But I saw her on that Thursday, and what is in my mind is Mom said she looked real good and she smiled a lot, and she said, I'm not feeling too good today. And I go, oh, what's wrong? And she says, well, my stomach is upset. And I said, oh, well, do you think I should tell somebody or do something about it? She goes, oh, let's not talk about it. Let's talk about happy things. And I know I told Kathy that day, and I think about it over and over. She never in her entire life ever said, let's talk about something happy. I mean, to me, it was just like, it's a nice little last thought. It's sort of like your song where you guys she didn't talk much, and then she talks about the president, and you're like, that's not Grandma.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's how my last memory of her is.
One time in East Palestine, Ohio, somebody took a bunch of pieces of an old bridge, put all those pieces of an old bridge's foundation
Yeah, it's
into a weird junkyard.
It's like somebody dismantled a bridge piece by piece instead of just knocking it over and took all those rocks, put them someplace so that maybe they could use them or sell them later because it was just nice quarried sandstone that blocks big square bricks, giant ones, and stacked all over each other by railroad tracks by a creek behind our childhood friend's house.
Right. So in East Palestine, there's these stacks of big blocks that are concrete, and we all go back behind my friend's house, and we sit on those, and we call the place the Rocks. And after school, a few days a week, we go back there and we
just, when you say sit on those, it just sounds so lame. Like
that's all
we're just sitting there for hours, which is actually what it was.
Okay, but we built a fort. There was apartment 1 and apartment 69.
Oh, I didn't remember that.
You don't remember those?
No.
One had a tarp roof. One had we had a piece of corrugated metal that we used as a roof for apartment. I don't remember. Oh no, apartment 1 was like just a little thing with like a couple of tall stacked rocks with like a corrugated piece of metal or plastic on top of it. I remember I had to...
But even though it was like, there were little compartments where you could like make little names for the apartments or whatever, it was still like, when you're a teenager hanging out, like, you're just entertained easily by sitting on some rocks and calling them something with your friends.
I had my first cigarette there. We had all these little pieces of like pottery that were like busted up that were from the manufacturing place that's next to it, and we made like stools out of those by the creek and had like 10 different places to sit. It was like it was a camp or something, and we had like a million things. One time, this girl that was like 15 and I was like 12 stuck her hands down my pants. It was like a big sleepover, and it was weird. And she tried to give me a hand job in the morning. Oh, that was fucked up.
I remember girls flirting with me there a little bit too, but I was more uptight than you were in high school, and I would like just run away from them or do something silly like that. And I remember.
You can bleep out these names.
Don't say them. Just say Just say first names or change them. So if you want, say that again.
Okay, so like, remember when had that girlfriend who insisted that he wear a condom when she gave him blowjobs?
Yeah.
That happened in apartment 69. And like, I swear I was like at his house or something. Like, I was like at apartment 1 having a cigarette. He was at apartment 69 getting a blowjob with the condom on.
Fame, can't take it away from me. It belongs to you and it's the same. If you take my pride from me, cause you're all I need and food, you can take it all away, cause I want you and sound. You can take it away for a day, cause all around all I need is you, or else I'll be blue. I'll stick to you like glue. All I need is you, all I need is you, or else I'll be blue. I'll stick to you like glue. All I need is you.
Turbo wing. Turbo wing?
Hi, I'm Philip Glass, and this is That U.S. Experience. That U.S. Experience is brought to you by beer, keeping the party in college radio. Anyhow, Chapter 1, Knock Knock, Who's There? Something Clever. I'm Philip Glass, and here is a recording of a principal who is talking while he doesn't know he's being recorded.
Kids are stupid. I don't like kids. But you're a principal. I know. That's the weird part about it. Anyways, you're stupid and I'm corrupt and I don't like you. The budget for inner city schools is stupid. So, you know, you're stupid and everything's stupid.
Oh, no, you did. Chapter 2. So a horse walks into a bar, and then something happens that isn't actually part of that joke, but we did something to switch the words around. Let me give you a warning if you have young kids listening. This part might not really be appropriate for them because this is a show for 87-year-olds. So, without further ado, here it is. Hey, f*** you, man! Alright, chapter 8. That U.S. experiences, that U.S. experience, and wait, don't tell me anything else other than what I'd like to know already, featuring Peter, whatever. Here it is. Yeah, I sound a lot like you, and I am you because we didn't really have a last clip for this thing, so, thank you for listening. My producer actually said one of the things that we had in the show already, so I asked him about if he was gonna go somewhere today, and he was all like, "Hey, f*** you, man!" I'm Philip Glass, and this has been That U.S. Experience. Don't forget to listen to our spin-off podcast, Is Murder Something That Somebody Did? And our other spin-off podcast, Hold a Knife to Your Throat for 2 days and See If You Kill Yourself.
Oh, snap. DJ, turn up the floor, Tom. We got a special guest in here tonight. It's MC Booty Lovin'. Ladies, shakes it for me. All skizzle, let me see y'all shakes that. All skizzle, let me see y'all shakes that. All skizzle, let me see y'all shakes that. Shakes that. Shakes that. All skizzle, let me see y'all shakes that. All skizzle, let me see y'all shakes that. All skizzle, let me see y'all shakes that, ladies. Shakes that. Shakes that. Got a 40 in my hand. Shakes that. Drink a 40 in the can. Shakes that. Drink a 40 with my man. What? Drink a 40 in the can. You already said that. Booties and 40s in the parties with my shorty. Ladies like some shakes on my car cause it's sporty. I get calls from different chicks telling me they miss me. And girls, I double dare you to resist me. All skizzle, let me see y'all shakes that. All skizzle, let me see y'all shakes that. Ladies, all skizzle, let me see y'all shakes that. Shakes that. Shake it.
And I was like, I give you a grape Dorito, you give me the 2 secrets to life. Oh God, my head hurts. My head. Oh my God.
I listened to this podcast recommended to me by my friend DJ. The podcast, you probably have heard of it. It is called Love and Radio, often stylized as Love Plus Radio on the little design of their title. Anyways, they have all kinds of random stuff on there, oftentimes storytelling form, not too far cry from Nursery, but a lot more like, here's a story. Not so much speculation like we do here, conversation. Anyways, they did something called Ghost Stories on an early episode, relatively early in their podcasting sequence. And it was really neat because they had this story about a cat who died, and then the owners kept hearing the cat's meow in the house, and then they'd see that cat outside the window, and they'd hear the cat walk around and go through the doors. It was really spooky. And then one of the other later stories in the same episode included some weird hinges on a door. Every time they moved the door, the hinge would seem to make this weird creaking noise that sounded like the words "help me." It wasn't the hinge, actually. They found out it was in the floor, and they found all these layers through the floor, these little chambers, and there was a book in the bottom chamber, and it was real crazy. And it turned out to be, I'm not going to ruin the episode, but it was a really cool story, if you happen to listen to Ghost Stories by Love and Radio. Anyways, parallels that kind of spooked me when I listened to these. I had a cat named Wick a few years back. We got him in the 90s, I believe, or in the early 2000s. He was an orange and white cat, and he often had this little, maybe girlfriend or boyfriend cat who would sometimes come and maybe do the equivalent of the human throwing pebbles at the window. He or she would come up and purr at the window or whatever, and I think Wick would, once in a while we were stupid and we'd leave a window open or leave the screened-in porch door open, and Wick would run away for a while, and he'd go sow his wild oats, and I think that was his mate. And then Wick died a few years ago, and I went and buried him in the yard. For some reason, very spookily at like 1 a.m. in the nighttime, I went to my mom's house and buried him in our woods. I don't know why I had to do it right then. She just didn't want him sitting around dead in the house. But anyhow, that's besides the point. Then a few weeks later, Jack and I are walking around my mom's house. I think we're just playing music or just hanging out playing some ping pong. And we swear we see that this cat had been inside the house, this other cat. Like, it just came in the house. And it was like probably looking for Wick. And maybe there was all this time we didn't know about where this cat was coming in somehow through the attic. Because we would have the attic door open sometimes too. I guess we just leave doors open a lot. And that cat would come through, we think. We're not sure. We could have just been making this up, but I swear, I think we saw this thing. And it would cut through the attic, come out the door, and come down the basement and scrog my cat Wick or something. And just little fleeting glances made it look like it was Wick in the house. So it looked like our cat was in the house, kind of paralleling the story of that cat who died and came back. Spooky, huh?
There was this huge hailstorm in Columbiana. You were riding your bike. Do you remember this?
Yeah.
You want to tell that real quick about you jumping in the creek and all that?
Yeah, I was just like in the country riding my bike. I don't know, for some reason I was just like a small town hick I was barefoot riding my bike on a backcountry road, like out in the middle of like some farms. And it just started like hailing really bad, and it was like so windy I couldn't even pedal my bike, and the hail was like hitting me so hard. And there was like a creek, and I just like jumped into it so that I could lay under the water so the hail wasn't hitting me, like, because it was like hurting that bad.
You said they were actually like as big as golf balls or something, or as big as, was it that big of hail?
Yeah, it was like some freak hail, and I was like, this stuff is gonna kill me if I don't like get out of it somehow. They were like, I don't know, I just like couldn't find shelter anywhere, and I just had to jump into a creek.
I remember seeing you the next day, and you looked the same way that Jack looked when he had poison ivy. You had welts, and your face was kind of pink.
Yeah.
Like you looked almost as bad as a kid looks when they get like a swollen allergy or poison. Yeah. For a couple days, you almost looked like that.
When I finally got home, I heard that there was like a tornado somewhere nearby too. So it was just like a big, like, crazy storm. And it was like in the middle of a summer day, and it was one of those things where it was like really nice out. That happened in like a 20-minute span, and then like everything dried up and the sun came out again. It was so weird.
And I remember you mentioning earthquakes before. I remember you experiencing them more than I did somehow. It was like just time and place in Ohio when small
earthquakes. It was just that one
happened.
in like 1997 or 8.
Right.
Yeah, or wait, no, I thought there was one when we were in second grade. I remember 1993.
Yeah, there was one then too.
But it's funny because some people don't acknowledge and some people do, because sometimes you just happen to be on some surface where it didn't matter, and sometimes you're like in the middle of a very quiet moment in your apartment and you like, Peppy was like, stuff came off our shelves. It was kind of a thing. And for me, I was like, I was sleeping, or, you know, like it was like something totally
Playing
different.
basketball and it didn't matter.
Yeah,
I lived in like a big old janky apartment building, so it
Top
probably
floor.
just like, yeah, the whole building was like probably about to collapse anyways.
Right, I imagine you out on that road right there. Is that what you're talking about? Those fields off of
Yeah.
Camelot and stuff?
Yeah.
Hey guys, this is Lee. You're listening to Nursery Podcast. My first guest today, a man who goes by the name of Animal Powder for some reason. I don't really understand it. Hi, Animal Powder. Would you like to give the class a little bit of a rundown on who the hell it is you are? Thanks, Lee. Thanks a lot. I appreciate the embellished intro, to say the least. My name's Animal Powder, and first things first, my cousin-in-law is a stupid Why is she a stupid C-word, Animal Powder? That seems, especially off the bat, to be very inappropriate to yell about your cousin-in-law like that. Let me tell you a little story, Lee, if that is your real name. So I'm sitting around minding my own business, right? I'm just TiVoing the next CSI Miami. That's my favorite show. And I look over to my left where my pint of ice cream was sitting, right? Okay, I'm following you so far. Yeah, I didn't ask you if you're following me. It's a pretty simple premise, so, you don't have to act like it's a confusing story or have to ask the audience if they're still with us or anything like that, It's just kind of, it's a self-explanatory thing so far, wouldn't you say? Yeah, sorry. I didn't mean it like that. I just being polite, Yeah, well, I know what asked for that, and I could handle it. You don't have to be polite to me. So anyways, sitting there watching, get ready to TiVo CSI, even though I'm watching it. That doesn't really make a lot of sense, but I TiVo it, then I watch it again directly afterwards. And look over to my spot where my pint of ice cream was. It was Cherry Garcia, if you're familiar with that, the little Ben & Jerry flavors. And lo and behold, Cherry Garcia is gone. It's a Grateful Dead, if you will, if you understand that reference. Do you understand that reference? Yes. Yeah. I thought you just said it was obvious where you're going. Why are you acting like now I'm stupid? Well, you don't know. You kind of act like an idiot before. Maybe I figure maybe you are having trouble following me. No, it's okay. Keep going. Okay, thanks a lot, Lee. Thanks, you stupid piece of crap. Anyways, my ice cream disappears, right? So I look around, I get up from my armchair, I walk into the kitchen, nothing's there. I look in the freezer, maybe I forgot to even take it out, or maybe I put it back. No, it's not in the freezer. And then I mosey on up to the 4th floor where the attic is, and then I technically get up into the attic, which is kind of like the 4th and a half floor, if you know how floors work. And do you know how floors work? Yeah. I know how floors work. Keep telling the story. Okay, shut up, you stupid. Anyways, my sister, she's up there on the 4.5 floor, eating the pint of Cherry Gar-freaking-cia. My sister is eating the pint of Cherry Gar-freaking-cia. And my half-cousin called her up and told her that I had ice cream and told her to steal it from me as a prank. Well, that's really weird. Why would your cousin have any incentive to have your sister steal ice cream? It's not like your cousin gets any of the ice cream. Well, my cousin just likes to see me in a bad mood now, doesn't she, Lee? Yeah, I guess so, Animal Powder. I guess your cousin goes to great lengths to see you in a really bad mood, I guess is the moral of the story. Yeah, you're right about that. You're gosh darn right. I'll tell you that. Gosh darn heck. Excuse my French, you little p***. Anyways, my cousin and my sister are in cahoots to ruin my night. And then I forget to hit record for the TiVo, and I miss CSI Miami because I'm upstairs in a rage beating my sister to death. And so I call my cousin late. What was that? I said I called my cousin later on. No, before that. Oh, Miss CSI TiVo? No, a little bit after that. Oh, I'm upstairs beating my sister. Did you say you're beating her to death?
Yeah, well, how else you beat somebody? You beat them straight to death. That's right. She's dead now, so screw you. So you're telling me on this podcast, on air, that you killed your sister? Oh, yeah, I killed her dead. She's dead, all right. She's a stupid is what she is. Okay. Okay, that's a little scary, but all right, whatever. Anyways, as I was saying, before I was rudely interrupted, I beat my sister to death. She's also, she's down in the basement. Right now, her corpse is rotting away, if I do say so myself, and I do because I just did. Anyways, then I go find my cousin. Drive a few miles to her house, and she's already ready for me. She's got a golf club, and she's got a machine gun. She's just ready to go to town, right? And I said to her, oh, you think you're real funny getting the ice cream taken away and making my sister eat it so I couldn't enjoy CSI Miami with my Cherry Garcia. Is that really clever? You think you're clever? And I'll do my best impression of her I can. And she turns around and says to me, hey, you're a stupid I don't know if that sounds like her. I guess you guys never heard her before, but she sounds a little bit like that. Anyhow, I killed her too, and as the story goes, here I am, running from the law. Cool, man. That really made a lot of sense, and I'm really glad that we took that time out of our day to hear your story. And it's not at all just really scary and inappropriate and unnerving. Thanks. Thanks a lot, man. That really means a lot coming from someone as stupid as you. Okay, well, Animal Powder, could you say our little tagline, our little nursery thing where we say, look, Mom, I'm on a podcast. Shut up, Lee. Shut the hell up. Shut the hell up. I'll say whatever the hell I want. I'm not going to talk to your mom. I don't know who that is. I don't care who that is. Animal Powder does what the freak when he wants and what the freak when he you get. I'm just saying that I do things whenever I want to do them. All right, sorry I asked. I'm really sorry I asked.
See ya. Bye. The end.
If you enjoy the music on this podcast, please go to thirdclass.net. Listen to my band, Third Class. We have a vinyl album for sale right now for $15. It comes in all colors unless you don't see records that way. Also, if you enjoy the demeanor and the personalities of the guests and myself on this podcast, a lot of them happen to be my friends. Maybe check out bullskit.com. Bullskit Productions is a comedy troupe that I'm a part of with a lot of my good friends who we've been doing since 2005. We do a lot of inappropriate skits with weird senses of humor, all free on bullskit.com. If you enjoy this podcast, all the elements I mentioned in the podcast, etc., please consider making a donation. Go to either of the sites I just mentioned and click on the podcast link, and you'll see a donation button specifically for Nursery. Whether you donate to Nursery, Bullskit, or Third Class, all the money will go back into entertaining you through some avenue. And I really would appreciate it if you can. I'd also like to mention that, ladies and gentlemen, it's the new millennium. So, that's something to celebrate, I'd say. It's the new millennium. I just wanted to remind you of that.